Good evening, everyone. Welcome to another week. Aus Pro-Am Sim Series here on FGME Cast. Brought to you by HJ Plant Repairs, our wonderful series sponsors here. And we are back close to local shores. We are back for the Australasian leg of the Aus Pro-Am Sim Series. So this is the third and final leg of our trek around the globe. And we're at SUZUKA tonight, a circuit that's got a lot of history, of course. Formula 1, probably don't need to go there too much in terms of crowning world champions, Ayrton Senna and the like. But we're here tonight for AUSPASS to get this leg underway, the Intercontinental GT Challenge. We're back in the GTE class for the remainder of this season. And we're looking at, we've got the Corvette, Porsche, and the M8 BMW, ever reliable M8 BMW, running this evening. Two races tonight, 25-minute first run, and then we do have the 45-minute reverse grid race coming up a little later on in the evening. So stay with us. Plenty of action to come here on FGME Cast. Your E-Place for Pace on board at the moment with Hayden Jackson running that really, really awesome looking new Corvette. And that Corvette has dominated GTE globally. Not yet quite to do that here on AUSPASS. The Porsche of Luke Bergen's there, one of the leading contenders in the category at the moment. So the 25-minute race, there is going to need to be a quick splash and dash, so that's going to play into the strategy of the drivers here, or the requirement for some strategy of the drivers here, as we jump on board with Matty Carleone doing some practice in the M8. And they're going to need to allow for that either to fuel save a lot, as you see Glenn Boyd just getting his pirouette out of the way nice and early. And Jack Boyd at the moment we're here tonight, so it's going to free a spot up at the front of the grid that I'm sure Glenn would be more than happy to take. Aaron Oliver joining in for this leg as well. They're going to have to fuel save a little bit here with 4.3 litres required for the Corvette to make it to the end. This is on an average timed run, data provided to me by the race organisers, which I thank them for. The BMW 2.7 litres, so that's the closest one to being able to make it to the end of the 25-lap race with no stop required. So I have to keep an eye on that one. And the Porsche, they're needing about 5.6 litres, so it, excuse me, requiring the longest of the stops when they do come through. So take that into consideration when we're looking at race one. Looking at around about 13 laps for that race as well. So, and then moving into that 45-minute race, which we'll have a little bit of a chat about a little bit later on in the program. Just trying to bring up here the current championship standings. I did have it here, and for some reason it has eluded me. Let's get it up again. Okay, so as we head into the Australasian League, Josh Perwin is currently leading. Now, he is in the amateur class, but currently leading overall. And he's actually got a reasonably healthy lead over Luke Bergen's, just over 350 points. Man on screen now currently sitting in second place. And we've got Simon Larder in third. So at the moment, we've got amateurs occupying first and third in the championship standings. Matty Carleone in fourth. Sam Lehman in fifth. Tom Katsadonis, who we have not seen for a little while, currently sitting in sixth place. Hopefully Tom makes his way back shortly. PJ Kennedy in seventh. Jack Boyd eighth. Brady Buchanan in ninth. And Gordon Irons in 10th position. So certainly plenty of the players here tonight. And wanting to make a claim, maybe try and get one hand slightly onto that trophy to take out Season 2 of this series. It's been a really, really good series to date. Of course, last week we were at Oran Park in the Audi 90, which is a turbocharged machine that was certainly an interesting race for the seeding to see if anyone could move up from the amateur class into the pro class. So that race a little bit under-supported, but it still provided a fantastic finish at the end. Fuel issues for a number of the drivers, which is one of the good changes that the category organisers have continued to make to this to keep the racing interesting. So these fuel numbers, they're getting them pretty much spot on. So the requirement for the stops caught a few drivers out, particularly because we raced at a track. As Daniel Webster joins the fray. Welcome, Daniel, in the Racing Image M8. Particularly with a couple of drivers not getting time to get any practice in at Oran Park. So we saw some last lap fuel runouts. In fact, from drivers in second and third, which boosted Sam Lehman up into the standings. And saw a new race win as well. But no promotions as a result of that. So all drivers staying in their categories at the moment. And I don't know how familiar too many of them will be with Suzuka as a circuit. Not a lot of iRacing series head to Suzuka, so this will be a new one for a lot of our drivers. Of course, life returning to semi-normal this week. We're in that second week of the year where people pretty much get themselves back to normal or start to arrive back from their extended holiday breaks. So maybe not too much practice here tonight either. The drivers just rotating things a little bit there. Let's bring the race info up on screen here. So as we said, at Suzuka International Race Course, as they call it. 5.75 kilometre track, looking at 24-degree temperature. That is ambient. 27 metres up in the air. And it is a Grand Prix circuit, as we know. So the conditions here fixed with a, I should say that was a track temperature of 24 degrees, but basically matching the ambient temperature. A bit of a wind as well here, 20 kilometres an hour, not too ferocious, but a little bit more than is normally set up for this series by the organisers. So let's see what that brings. Just over 7 minutes to go in the session. Good time for us to quickly mention our sponsors as well. AFTERSHOCK PC, your rig, your choice. The guys out at AFTERSHOCK in Melbourne, fantastic at providing you with the PC with the grunt to get the job done. We certainly use them for our broadcasting and as a partner to Ferguson Group Media as well, who use their products too. And last but not least, of course, Virtual Motorsport Mentor, Chris Purnell and his team. The place to go if you need to be coached. And let's be fair, even the professionals have coaches. So why can't you? Whether it's oval, track, or even dirt racing, Chris Purnell is the place to go to get some advice and improve your driving, even if it's just how to set up information for your rig and how to use maybe VR better or any of those sorts of things. Chris and the team, definitely where we seek our advice from on the limited occasions at the moment that we get to race. Aaron Oliver on screen, a rather mean looking M8, the all black livery there. As we switch to Glenn Boyd, currently third fastest on track at the moment. Doing very well indeed. Luke Bergen's fastest man, 154.71. He is on half a second up on Matty Carleone in second. Of course, it's not qualifying. Qualifying's coming up. It will be an open track qualifying session as well, as is always the case with Aus Pro-Am. Trying to replicate real racing as much as they can. You just see Sam Lehman there, 93 PC sponsored car. Just testing out the grass, seeing how it goes for traction. Probably working out that it's not the best. And Jack Boyd has popped into the server. Good to see Jack back as well. So he will be one contesting up the front. And I know doing a lot of work in the 911 Porsche series. Just trying to get up into the qualify for the global competition. $200,000 prize pool for that one. That competition starting out just this week. And I believe that two Aussie boys took out first and second place. I did not catch it, so don't quote me if I'm wrong. But I imagine that probably had something to do with a few of the usual suspects who get up the front of all things iRacing. Probably Josh Rogers and the like. Congratulations to them for doing that. An excellent series. Big prize on the line. And definitely hard to qualify for as well. So, a good effort there. It's just on 4 minutes now to see who else jumps into the race. We've got 10 cars on track at the moment. Average lap time just under 2 minutes, minute 55. And said 25 minutes coming up directly after qualifying here for the Aus Pro-Am Sim Series. Brought to you by HJ Plant Repairs. Get your teeth in, Stuart. Let's get it right. So if you're in the chat, jump in, say hello, get involved. I always like to speak to those who are watching. Let us know what you're interested to see. Have you been to the SUZUKA track? That would certainly be interesting to know. Watched any Formula 1 there or any of the GT series? I did say today that the Formula 1 calendar changed again with the Melbourne round now moving to the third last round of the season. I guess just to do with COVID concerns there. They've decided to do that to make sure that that happens. So moving that towards the end of the calendar instead. And I believe they'll head off to Dubai and somewhere else. I didn't quite catch where the end was there, as Luke Bergen's just start doing the old test into pit lane just to make sure that he ends up not getting a fine for that. He's not even got the limiter on there, actually. Matty Cartaleone just playing a few games behind him. It's not the most interesting run down pit lane at the best of times. So they both head back out again. So also, just while we're waiting, a few weeks away now from the start of ANSCAR truck racing, which will be live on FGME Cast. That one coming up the start of February. So looking forward to getting that back up on your screen. And I was also just checking out, excuse me again, Matty Cartaleone has actually jumped ships, I believe, as well. We've got, he was in a Porsche 4 Leg 2, which is allowed, and he's made the change, which they can do between legs. Now running the M8 BMW. So it'll be interesting to see how that performance, well, that change impacts his performance. Completely different types of track coming up here in this leg as well, as we switch over to qualifying. Just to remind everyone, after Suzuka we're off to Okayama. Then we're finishing in Australia as the battle begins to get out on track first, and it is Matty Cartaleone who wins that battle, ahead of the boys in red, Luke Bergens and Jack Boyd. Matty Cartaleone letting them through. There'll be a bit of team tactics here. Boyd and Bergens sharing digital pit lane, or digital garages, I should say. But we do head Okayama next, which is a pretty tight circuit. Probably not too dissimilar to Oran Park in a number of ways. And then, of course, Phillip Island culminating at Mount Panorama. And let's just say, with the difference in the tracks, straight line speed of the Porsche a little less than the Beamer. And of course we've got that Corvette. Hayden Jackson, the only one running the Corvette at the moment, actually, and I'm going to be really interested to see how that performs at Bathurst. As usual with all things iRacing, purchased all of the gear for it in terms of the cars. I've got the new Corvette, and I reckon I've done probably 1 or 2 laps in it just to see what it feels like, and have not touched it since, for no reason other than a lack of time. So no time set yet by anyone. Get around for their first lap, so they're going to get the opportunity to do 3 flying laps here, maybe only really 2 even, with the outlap as well. So I'll do probably 2 flying laps. This, go in, refresh the tyres, and head back out again for 2 more flying laps to close out the session. So we're on with Jack Boyd at the moment. Just saw there Luke Bergens exiting the track. We'll stick with Jack Boyd. He's going to be the first driver to get around, followed by Luke Bergens, Matty Cartaleone behind him. Daniel Webster not too far behind either. So jump on board the chopper here. Boyd, obviously purple sectors here. So this is the first of the cars to complete a full lap. Just 3/4 of the way through now. And 2 purple sectors. Bergen's fastest in sector 2. Boyd putting in a very, very controlled and tidy lap. We'll just put the mockers on him a little bit there. Anything around that 155 mark, it's probably going to be good. So he's done a 156.2 there. In actual fact, that's Glenn Boyd who's done the fastest lap so far. So I'd say the lap of Boyd being void there for an off-track. currently provisional pole with Glenn Boyd. We've got Matty Cartaleone, Hayden Jackson, Justin Swikert, Luke Bergens and Jack Boyd all without an official lap at this point in time. And we want to get that banker lap in just to make sure that they're not going to end up starting from the back of the grid. Remembering too that our second race tonight is a reverse grid race, so I want to be doing too much work if they don't have to. The qualifying performance definitely will help. Getting through there much cleaner this time, Jack Boyd. There's Luke Bergens, however, who is on a flyer behind him. So Jack Boyd gets the job done. 155.43 goes provisional pole. Luke Bergens crosses the start-finish line. And that lap will not count again. So another off-track for Bergens during that lap. Means that he, as yet, has not put in a lap. And Glenn Boyd drops into the 55s as well with a 55.8. So 4/10 off, just pursuing his son Jack there for the pole position at the moment. But it is a father-son lockout at the front at the moment. Jack Boyd, Glenn Boyd. Daniel Webster's done well as well. He's currently sitting up in third position provisionally. Look for him in the Big Bertha, as we've called it. Big bustling M8 BMW. It's a huge thing to manhandle around the track. Let's see. Just runs a little wide there. Luke Bergen's still trying to get in his first time lap. He's going to run out of time if he's not careful. He'll get this one in. And that's probably going to be it. He will not get another lap in, I don't think. Glenn Boyd at the moment has just done his fastest first sector. So we're going to keep an eye on him. He only needs 4/10 and he's on position 1. 2 and a bit minutes to go. Glenn Boyd will get another lap in. Jack Boyd will get another lap in. Question is, will Luke Bergens get another lap in? It's Matty Cartaleone pops up in third place, 155.9. And Luke Bergens gets the job done, a 155.11. And he will get this lap in if he wants to keep going. So at the moment it's Bergens, Jack Boyd, Glenn Boyd, Matty Cartaleone. We've got Justin Schweikert in 5th, Daniel Webster 6th, Brady Buchanan 7th, Sam Lehman 8th, Aaron Oliver in 9th, and at this stage Hayden Jackson in 10th position. So will Jack Boyd manage this? He's gone faster in Sector 1. It's his fastest first sector of the qualifying session. Luke Bergens equally faster through Section 1. Matty Cartaleone through Sector 1 also faster. Bergens with a purple second sector. So he's flying. He's looking to improve on his fastest lap just to make sure he gets the job done at the front of the field. Stick here with Luke Bergens, with Jack Boyd. Glenn Boyd's jumped into pit lane. He's done. Daniel Webster done. Aaron Oliver done. Matty Cartaleone still out on track. He's going to come across the line after Jack Boyd. So it'll be Boyd, then Cartaleone, who will find out. Followed by Luke Bergens, followed by Justin Schweikert. We're going to see whether or not Glenn Boyd is safe in third position. Jack Boyd hasn't managed to put in any better sectors. As I say that, Sector 4, green for him. So he has improved his lap time. It's just going to come down to how much better Bergen's second sector is. So we're looking for Boyd here to head across the line. That, of course, is if the lap counts. Got to make sure they don't get any off tracks that cost them the lap. So he heads across the line. Oh, and just shy of 55.34. Matty Carleone, however, does a 55.62, moves himself up to third position. And Luke Bergens, does he improve on his qualifying fastest lap? No, he does not, and he crosses the line just as the session finishes. So a really, really good qualifying session there from everyone. A few late changes as well. Let's have a look at the grid. We've got Bergens and Boyd off the front row, followed by Matty Carleone and Glenn Boyd row 2. Justin Schweikert, Daniel Webster row 3. Brady Buchanan, Hayden Jackson off row 4. We've got Sam Lehman and Aaron Oliver rounding out the 5th row of our grid. So we've got 25 minutes here. As I said, BMW really has the advantage here. They can manage fuel to the end, having to save around about 2 litres across the 25-minute race. So don't be too surprised if you see a few of them drop back and manage fuel. Of course, they need to make sure that the gap to the leaders doesn't surpass the time it takes to get it done. So we get underway here. Rolling start. And it is a 1-2. Always good to see a form start here. It's already looking a little bit dull here. I think we might end up in the night for the second race. 45 minutes. Headlights on already. Pretty short roll up here as well. So, got to look out for it. You can see there, Glenn Boyd right on the bumper of Luke Bergens. Matty Carleone as well. This is the famous track where there was the switch of pole position inside to outside as well last minute. You can see there, pole position inside. Gives him priority down into turn 1. And we're off and racing here. And the squeeze is on there. Luke Bergens trying to squeeze down the outside, down the inside. But it is Matty Carleone who's had a blistering start. And he is off and into the lead of the race into turn 1. A great result for him. Very good start. Getting the hammer down in that BMW, so he is not saving fuel at this certain point of the race. You can imagine that being the case. Bergens Boyd trying to get their way back past Glenn Boyd, making sure he is on the bumper of this lead pack. Daniel Webster, Hayden Jackson, Justin Schweikert, Aaron Oliver, Sam Lehman and Brady Buchanan rounding out the group here. Everyone through early on, which is always good to see. One fast repair here for the drivers in this race, and it is Matty Carleone, who is feeling the pressure, no doubt, from right behind him of Luke Bergens. So just looking out the back of Carleone's car here, and just he's going to try and get a gap where he can, no doubt at all. So Bergens now right on the bumper, and he's going to try and challenge here down the inside if he can. And he just pushes Carleone wide there. He's just trying to make sure it gives him some gap. Carleone's still able to defend though down into the chicane, and managing to keep that done. Glenn Boyd unfortunately off there, indicating that he's had a crash along with Brady Buchanan. We'll go back and have a look at those in a moment. Boyd back on track. And it is going to be Carleone who's going to lead us through for the first lap. So let's go back quickly here and have a look at Glenn Boyd. What happened to him? We just missed it covering this one. Looks like he's just grabbed It's down into the chicane there, yeah, just outbraked himself. Just rotated the car around and unfortunately, or fortunately, did the right thing and synchronised spinning from the BMWs. That was Brady Buchanan in the background there, but just did the right thing, waited for the pack to get through and was able to resume racing. So he will have his work cut out for him. Hardly only doing a good job here to hold off the BMWs. Of course, they will need to take on more fuel than him, so it's a matter of managing the race from here. Holding the pressure. 21 minutes to go, though. And it may even be that Bergens and Boyd are happy to just try and save a little bit of fuel. That Porsche needing to take on more fuel than the BMW, but I can tell you from the look of how aggressive Bergens being, he's not going to wait too long. Oh, as he just jams the Porsche down the inside into the chicane. Again, not quite getting it done. Carliani's going to survive again here. However, it's a drag race down the main straight and the Porsche is in the right spot. Is he going to be able to get it done, or is the legs of the BMW going to make it happen? No, and Corleone gets hung out to dry there, and it is Bergens who goes through. Jack Boyd also trying to make his way through at the same time, not quite able to get the job done. The new race leader, Luke Bergens, now will be trying to set off into the distance. Jack Boyd, fastest man on the track last time around, 1:56.15 as well. So very, very much a hot race at the front here. Bergens going to try and set off into the distance though. So now Jack Boyd, can he make his way past Matty Carleone quickly? These three have made a gap on the following pack. Daniel Webster 3 seconds behind this lead group. So a little bit of a battle going on in a couple of cars back as well. Hayden Jackson in the Corvette under pressure from Justin Schweikert. And we also have Aaron Oliver and Sam Lehman battling away there as well. That is for 7th and 8th. So it's good to see battles right throughout the field. Justin Schweikert, fantastic looking livery on that Porsche as well. And just locking a brake there. Both drivers running wide, but just locking the brake there. That inside wheel on the way in. Costing him a little bit of time. And there's plenty of Porsche on the back of Matty Carleone's BMW now as well. So, guys, there's a big move here. Not able to get it done. Jack Boyd just sticking the nose of that Porsche out to have a look. Let him know that he might be having a crack down the inside, but not so. Not this time around. BMW definitely has the legs on the straight. Probably running a little more aero on the back. Oh, this is a fixed setup actually, so just depends on what the testing drivers have done with the cars. Look reasonably evenly matched. The winding section of the track. Little squiggle there as Carleone gets on the gas a little early, spins the rear wheels on the M8. Now, just defending there, chucks the Beamer in, just manages to get it pulled up there. Very, very aggressive driving from Carleone. Wants to make sure that he defends his position in second place from Jack Boyd. Not sure how much these guys will be thinking about fuel saving. You can see on the track map there on your screen the gap that has developed between this leading pack and Daniel Webster now out to just on 5 seconds. And there's a fair old train of cars. Let's just see Aaron Oliver there go off track. He's come back on now. No damage done. Fastest man last time around, 55.9 for Glenn Boyd. And that is the second fastest lap of the race. So he's flying along trying to make up for that little spin he had into the chicane. You can see him there, just on the back of Sam Lehman. So I got half a second between them. And this battle still here. The second and third. Live and well. Or even alive and well. It's live and well, but it's alive and well as well. So that pit window will open up. Well, in fact, it's open any time from now. But the latest they'll be doing that will be with about 5 minutes to go. Some good news there with Sandown taking place of the Australian Grand Prix on that fixture. So Sandown once again gets another lifeline. That'll be very early for Sandown in March of this year. Thanks very much for the like there, Prince. Welcome to the stream. As you see here again, down the inside, Jack Boyd manages to get it done into the chicane. Oh, a small little bump there on the back of Boyd as Carleone tries to manhandle that BMW through the chicane. That'll get the job done there. So now Boyd will try and chase down Luke Bergens, who's just done a 55.01. Just realised there that tick across the top showing you their fastest lap, not the gap between the battling packs. Apologies for that. But here's Luke Bergens, who's made amends for the start. Matty Carleone had an absolute blinder when we got underway. Just have a look here. As you can see, keep an eye on Matty Carleone down the inside there, getting the preferred line at the race start. And he was able to close things out as well and take off, get things done. And an ensuing battle between himself and Luke Bergens took place. And he lasted for 3 laps, but Carleone not making it easy for Bergens at all. And then Jack Boyd having to take up the challenge as well. But Bergens' mind order will have been restored as he is back at the front of the pack, as the shadows cast themselves there. And I just think Jack Boyd, an off in the background. Jack Boyd has had an off there, so what happened there? Just trying to have a look back at that. Oh, and he's just got the Porsche a little high on the strip there and ended up rotating the car around. And that's put Matty Carleone back up into second place. Jack Boyd will be real dirty to himself. He did the hard work to make his way past Carleone, who's not made it easy for the teammates at the front of the field to make their way into the lead. And that work has been undone, and there's now more work to be done as the gap between them, about 3/4 of a second, 13 minutes to go. Daniel Webster off in a world of his own at the moment. He'll be pretty happy with that, I imagine. Just trundling around doing a 57s at the moment. Reasonably consistent pace from him. And Glenn Boyd is the man who's going to try and chase him down. Boyd just getting past Sam Lehman. And he is now up into 5th position. Just one down from where he started in 4th, obviously, if you can do the math. If not, allow me to do it for you. So Aaron Oliver currently running about a second up the road from Brady Buchanan. And Justin Schweikert in that Porsche with a little bit of damage to it there. Currently running in 10th position. It will no doubt fix itself up when he pulls into pit lane. And in fact, Jack Boyd there having another off, and he has slipped well down the order now. So Daniel Webster up into 3rd. So let's have a look here and see what happened there. He's gone off and he's had to duck down. Oh, and he hasn't quite got it turned around. That's cost him some time. And of course, trying to get it back onto the track safely. He's dropped a handful of positions, so he's got lots of work to do now. There's Jack Boyd, and don't be too surprised if you see him jump into pit lane. Take a squirt of fuel so that he is prepared to run through the end. So Boyd not choosing to do his pit stop there. 10 minutes to go. Now, fuel saving not a possibility for him. So Bergen's with a clear lead here. Nearly 6 seconds away from Matty Cartaleone in 2nd. Daniel Webster up into 3rd. He will be very happy with that. I'm just seeing here as well, another incident, not Jack Boyd's night. So as you see the Corvette getting really loose in the background there, that's Hayden Jackson. So Sam Lehman doing the spin in the middle. Oh, wow, fantastic driving from Jack Boyd. It doesn't get much closer than that, I reckon. Let's go back and have a look at that again. And jump onto the nose of Lehman's car. So he gets through the curbing here. It's just over-rotated the car again. Just a little hot into there. And look at that. It does not get any closer than that from Jack Boyd. Fantastic reflexes to not damage his car or Sam's. I'm sure Sam will thank you very much for that when they chat after the race. So good driving there from Boyd. Go on to the highlight reel. As he is in hot pursuit of Hayden Jackson. Jackson just running a little wide there. We're still trying to work that car out a bit. Just getting the pass done there, Jack Boyd. Now in pursuit of his father, Glenn. Around about 8 seconds up the road. And Boyd lapping at a very similar lap time, so that might be about as good as it gets for Jack. He might have to settle for 5th position. 7.5 minutes to go. Fuel stops imminent for a number of our cars. BMW will be the last to stop. BMW is now occupying 2nd, 3rd and 4th. With that beautiful RSR at the front. at the moment. Got these cars parity pretty much bang on. Top 5 cars all doing lap times within a tenth of one another across the Porsche and BMW brands. And then our second 5, well, the second half of the field, second half of the field also doing very, very similar lap times to one another within a tenth. So just waiting to see who blinks first here. It should be the Porsches. Hopefully they all remember they do need to pit. The way that they run the pit setup on this is, the fuel setup on these cars is very good. They short fuel them just enough so they don't make 25 minutes if the driver doesn't save fuel. But on the refuel, they can fill the tank. So in our 45-minute race, definitely need to stop at some stage, and then they need to make sure that they get the fuel number right. You don't want to put in too much to slow the car down. But, there's one thing for sure, that is you will not win if you don't finish, so they need to fuel it enough to make sure they get to the end. So it's the advantage of the 45-minute duration of the race. If they did 50, it would be easy. Bit of a battle going on between Buchanan and Hayden Jackson. Down in the pack there, trying to get out of the draft. In fact, we've got Buchanan, Jackson, Oliver, and Schweikert all in a row there. Sam Lehman's managed to break away from this pack. Another fantastic livery on Brady's car. Monster Energy, by the look of it. We've had a couple of cans of that. Those colours would be talking to you. Just managing to break the train a little bit here. Big slide there into the corner. Managing to pull it up reasonably well, using as much of that Astro turf on the outside of that ripple strip as they can there. I'm going to jump on board with Luke Bergens here and see if he jumps into pit lane or not. Doesn't look like he is. So he will go around again. 3 minutes 51 left. Surely he's going to need to do a stop. Let's jump on board with him. Do a lap around the track. Just listen if he is saving fuel. It doesn't sound like it at this stage. So it's a full-on lap around here. There is no rest whatsoever. Very impressive through the S's from Bergens there. You can see just how much slide and effort goes into getting the car through there quickly. 28 to go. This will be the last lap of the race. So no pit stop required. It's Matty Carleone, who got notification, has crashed. This stage has not dropped a spot, so still Carleone second, Daniel Webster in third. He is probably under pressure. As we just see Luke Bergens come around for the win. Going to jump back. Great drive from Bergens. Well done. Thanks for the like, Tom. Wish you were out here running. Appreciate you tuning into the stream. You can see there, Glenn Boyd not too far behind Daniel Webster, but Daniel Webster going to bring it home for third place. It's a fantastic drive. Congratulations on a race well run. Nice and consistent. Glenn Boyd in fourth. Jack Boyd, difficult one for him, back in fifth. Flip back here to the battle for 8th and 9th. As it currently sits, Oliver under pressure from Justin Schweikert going into the chicane. So he's got to pull that up and get the job done there. And he's going to do just that. Bring that one home. So just to recap, it is Luke Bergens, race winner, race 1 here tonight. Matty Carleone in second place. Good time for us to grab onto him. Maybe sending someone a text message while he's driving. You can see, don't text and drive, mate, it can wait. And then we've got Daniel Webster coming home in third. So we've now got a 10-minute warm-up period. This for us is our interval, so don't go too far. We're going to jump aboard with anyone who jumps out on track. Just see if anyone does head out. And we will be back with you in a few minutes for the main race. 45-minute reverse grid race. It's going to be Hayden Jackson, I believe. Sorry, my apologies. Brady Buchanan, I believe it is, off pole position for the second race. So don't go too far. And we will be back with you in a few minutes. Alrighty, and we are back with the interval over. 46 seconds to go. Ready for the reverse grid race. 45 minutes. Ready to go. So we're going to see Luke Bergens try and make his way through the pack. He has been known to get a ripper start in these reverse grid races, getting a lot of the work done on the first lap. Of course, the start here very, very much dependent on getting down onto that inside line. So we'll see what he can do. Matty Carley only getting a ripping start, of course, in the last race. So he will be coming from the back row of the grid with Luke Bergens. Be on the disadvantaged side of the track. Just waiting here for the cars to grid up. Let's have a look at how they will form up in this reverse grid race. So it is going to be Hayden Jackson out of pole, Justin Schweikert from second, Aaron Oliver, Brady Buchanan on the second row, Sam Lehman, Jack Boyd third row. Look out for Jack Boyd as well on the start there. Glenn Boyd, Daniel Webster on the fourth row, with Matty Carleone and Luke Bergens rounding out the grid as we spoke about. 45 minutes pit stop absolutely will be required here, no questions asked. And who is going to be able to get this one done? Just waiting for Hayden Jackson, Matty Carleone to jump back onto the grid. As Hayden Jackson just joins now, so we should be ready to go in that ripping Corvette. Monster Energy Drinks getting a really good run for their money here. Anyone out there from Monster that wants to jump on and sponsor the stream, go for your life. Plenty of Monster liveries adorning these cars as we get underway. Very, very short lead up here. And it is Hayden in that Corvette. He's just running alongside the pace car at the moment. You want to drop him behind it so he doesn't get black flagged by iRacing. Let's allow a little bit of width here for this chicane. Everyone trying to get through nice and smooth. And it is going to be Hayden Jackson will lead us away. Just waiting for that green light to go. And it will be on. Just bunching the field up here. We're nice and close together. And we will be off and running in a matter of moments. It's going to be Schweikert and Jackson. Schweikert just pulled in front here of Jackson. He's going to need to be careful there. So waiting for the lights to go green. And we're off and running. Matty Carleone shifting into the middle there and down the inside. Justin Schweikert looks like he is going to get the job done. No, Aaron Oliver, my apologies, down the inside there. Hayden Jackson down into turn one, and he is going to lead us through as everyone makes it through. You've got a lot of the fast runners wanting to make their way from the back. We've got Boyd, Bergens and Boyd down at the back here as things get started. It looks like everyone has managed to make their way through unscathed, which is good. That's how we want to see these races start. Well done to everyone there. Hayden Jackson in the lead. He will be wanting to cut and run as fast as he can in that Corvette. Oliver already coming under pressure from Schweikert behind him. Sam Lehman up into fourth. He's up one spot from his starting position. Brady Buchanan up. Matty Carleone 3 spots up. He's into sixth already as Hayden Jackson has run wide. He sent that Corvette and he has sent it very far indeed. And along with him, looks like it was Brady Buchanan also off. So that puts Aaron Oliver into the lead. And just running a little wide there. Schweikert trying to take advantage as the afternoon sun sets in, or twilight sets in, I should say, on the racetrack. Oliver trying here, trying to get underway. And he's just gone way wide, and with him, Schweikert's gone with him through. He's gone through. Sam Lehman down the inside, trying to make things happen for himself as well. Got cars sprayed everywhere all over the track. Matty Carleone right in behind them. He's already up into fourth. Daniel Webster just managing his race right behind him. Bergens, Boyd there behind them as well. So it is on at the early part. These reverse grid races always start out with all of this noise. Carleone trying to get that pulled up. as well. Webster trying to get pulled up behind him. Sam Lehman in third. The pressure's on. The 293 PC boys battling away. Cardleone's going to try and stick his nose down the inside here. That's the position you want to be in. Try and use the draft a little bit. Got Bergens and Boyd behind them, trying to create mischief as well. Schweikert, Oliver off in front as this pack tries to sort itself out. Just trying to settle things out a little bit here. Makes it difficult there. Someone blinking on the screen. Just a chain of cars behind Sam Lehman now up into second. I think it was Aaron Oliver there whose internet dropped in and out, and you can see there he's just appeared back on the screen but had a slide, so it's disappointing for him. He's going to lose a ton of spots, but Sam Lehman into second now. Matty Cardleone third. Got Luke Bergens make his way round the outside of Daniel Webster before they head down into the long double apex hairpin. Cardleone on the bumper of Sam Lehman. So we're on board with him now, and you can see right there Cardleone. Oh, it's almost a bump as well. Just right up behind him there. He's trying to dive down the inside. He's way too far back to get the move done there. Sam Lehman just able to make his way through and out the other side. Luke Bergens putting pressure on Cardleone as well. So the chain has certainly started. And still Cardleone puts the pressure on. Sam Lehman runs a little bit wide. Once you get wide through the S's, it's very difficult to pull it back. Oh, wow, as you can see, Cardleone there's dropped out, so we missed the coverage bit, but back on board now. Bergens Boyd putting the pressure on him too, so he's going to be looking in the rearview mirror as he's run wide. So Luke Bergens now tries to put the move on, but Cardleone able to defend down into the next sequence of corners. He's going to get that BMW out of the corner, try and get a gap. He's not quite able to do it. That's let Sam Lehman make some space up the front. Oh, he's stuck down the inside. Bergens to try and get it done. Is he going to be able to pull it off? No, with a better drive. BMW manages to close the door and just maintain third position. Sam Lehman runs really wide there, so he drops a couple of positions. Lets Cardleone, Bergens and Boyd through. So he's jumped back onto the back of the train. This has allowed Justin Schweikert to open up a handy 2-second lead. He's lapping at the same pace as these guys, so at the moment. And they will battle. We saw it in race 1 between Cardleone and Bergens. Oh, Cardleone spun around there, and he's managed to do the right thing. Is he going to get through? Oh, and everyone just manages to make their way through. That is a shame. As it looks like Bergens went off as well there, just trying to avoid the issue. So we'll go back and have a look at that one in a minute. As Matty Cardleone's jumped straight into pit lane. Good reason for that. He'll be able to fuel that car to the end and then put in the work. So he's going to need to do that. Hayden Jackson in behind him as well. So Schweikert is your race leader. Currently 2 seconds up the road from Jack Boyd. So Boyd now needs to get his head down. He's capable of 155s in the current fuel trim in that Porsche. Schweikert's consistent in that 156 range. So he'll have to work hard to catch the gap up here. It's around 2 seconds. Schweikert certainly not going to give it up. Keep an eye on the total pit lane times here as well for these cars. Cardleone at the moment sure what's going on there with him. It's a big fuel for that BMW. He's currently sitting in pit lane. Keep an eye on that. Minute is a long stop. 45 seconds worth of fuel. That'll fill that BMW. Perhaps not adjusting the fuel load on that car, as he's now out of pit lane. 55 seconds worth of fuel. That is a full tank in that BMW. So he now has a massive task in front of him. See how he can go. He's going to have to try and redress some of that time. So first free lap around, Jack Boyd, 155.19, bang, just gets the job done. You can see there the gap visibly reduced between himself and Schweikert. Oh, as Boyd's gone around. Boyd has, and he's just managed to catch it. But once again, that's going to let Daniel Webster up past him. And it gives Schweikert a reprieve. Luke Bergens, how's your day going? A 55.14. Bang, just puts in the fastest lap of the race. Currently running down in 7th. As Brady Buchanan gets back into pit lane. So it is Schweikert at the front of this one. As we approach 10 minutes in. And once again, Jack Boyd has to battle his way through. He's got Daniel Webster in front of him to deal with next. Again, Webster not going to make his life easy for him. Oh, in fact, he just runs wide there. He should be able to hold that position down into the next corner. But he's certainly put himself under pressure. The better run out of that corner for Jack Boyd. See how they're going into the braking zone here. Is Boyd going to try and stick his nose down the inside? No. Just managing to hold it there. Webster looking for his second straight podium as Matty Cardleone's head back into pit lane. So, I don't know whether that's for a drive-through for speeding. But, no notice. Oh, yeah, it is a notification that he did go off track again. So, perhaps some damage to that BMW resulting in him going through pit lane. And yeah, that was. So just for a fast repair there. But he is going to go a lap down. As he exits pit lane here. He's got the full field coming up behind him. He's going to have to make way for the race leader there, Justin Schweikert. And he does just that. So certainly not the result that Cardleone would have been looking for. Webster still in front of Jack Boyd. Last time around, Bergen's quicker again, a 55.02, the closest we've seen to a 54 across these two races. So he is absolutely piling on the pressure as he heads up onto the back of Aaron Oliver in that black BMW. We'll jump back there in a minute and have a look at that, but at the moment it is Jack Boyd pressuring the back of Daniel Webster. He's all over the back of Webster. He's going to try it down here as he's not. Oh, he gets real close there under brakes. Not quite able to move out the way. And the drive out of the corner just isn't quite there. This one will finish in darkness. And you can see he's going to get the job done now as he's down the inside. Just not quite far enough up, but Webster, just pulls it up just in time. It's in the background there. Bergens does get the job done on Aaron Oliver. So he's now up into 5th position. Just regaining ground. There's Bergen. You can see him trying to get down the... It's just on the wrong side. He's going to try and do the cut. No, he doesn't get the crossover done. Looking for the better exit. And then he's positioning the car well. Jack Boyd. for an attempt here, you would assume. Down into turn one. Not quite getting there, even with the draft. And Daniel Webster just absorbing the pressure here. Doing a good job. Great drive so far. Sam Lehman, Aaron Oliver into pit lane with 32. Just under 33 to go. And good battles right throughout the field here. It's helped as well. I'm not going to lie. A couple of our front-running drivers making mistakes tonight. Boyd, Cardleone, and Bergens. That's not taking anything away, though. Daniel Webster's had a good drive in the first race. He's doing really well here. Justin Schweikert. Oh, no. We put the mockers on him. He gets that pulled up just before the wall. Does a good job. So, Daniel Webster, unfortunately, dropping a few positions there. But at this stage, Schweikert in the lead. Nearly 4 seconds up the road from Jack Boyd. Glenn Boyd right behind him. Luke Bergens now up into fourth. Daniel Webster in fifth. And that is the field so far. Sam Lehman in pit lane. As we just got notification there that Jack Boyd went off track. Yeah, and he certainly did. So, Aaron Oliver as well. So Boyd, Bergens with all the work to do. Bergens on the back of Glenn Boyd at the moment. So there's a battle forming here. So Glenn Boyd with the work to do. He's defending against Luke Bergens. Currently fastest lap. And the job done there. Brady Buchanan into pit lane. Sam Lehman checks out of pit lane. He's done. He's fueled that car to the end. Glenn Boyd won't make it easy for Bergens here. He will try and fight back. Get that position back if he can. As it descends into darkness here. Just under half an hour to go. So just backwards there. Not sure who that was. I don't know, Brady Buchanan. So that car not able to be turned around. It was Matty Cardleone, unfortunately. Second race definitely not going to his liking. So it is Schweikert still at the front of the field here. 1.5 seconds on Jack Boyd. You can see Jack Boyd there just in the background. So 44.44 of a second, or just under half a second gap now, is coming down, continuing to come down. So Schweikert back under pressure. You just see there Jack Boyd running wide. Getting off track for that as well. Already up to 10. I'm not sure at what stage the penalties are here. The spins don't help. Just running off track there again as well. Two identical cars, of course. Setup and otherwise. Glenn Boyd goes off track as well. Just running wide. And Schweikert here just trying to soak up some of the pressure. Boyd will be trying to get down the inside into turn one. See, they're a huge swerve down onto the inside line. It's more of a distraction tactic than anything, I think. And hasn't quite worked, so you'll have to continue to toil away at the back of Schweikert's Porsche. Notification there that Daniel Webster might have run wide. Jack Boyd looks like he's got the job done now. Schweikert trying to hold that line, trying to get the cross back done. He's not far enough up there, and it will be Boyd who will take away the lead of the race. "26 minutes to go." Boyd will be looking to just put in some consistent laps now. A couple of spins in the last race, particularly in the mid-corner, and he's just locked up that left-hand front wheel there. And Luke Bergens has got through on Schweikert, so just giving him the flash of the headlights there. Teammates just saying, come on, let's get it done. Another off track there for Jack Boyd. He's certainly racking them up. Just try and check back through the rules just to see when a penalty might be introduced for off tracks there. So it's at 25. And at 35, we've got disqualification, so I don't imagine we're going to get there. But it is something that will need to be considered by Jack Boyd. He's flashing his headlights. Not really coming up on any lapped traffic as such. Sam Lehman, the next car up the road from him. Maybe just a little bit of Morse code communication there between the teammates. But certainly our count has Jack Boyd at 12 incident points, so got a little while to go to get to that 25 or get a drive-through penalty. We certainly don't want that to happen at all, but it's just something to bear in mind. Might change things up a little bit later on in the program. Once again, just using as much of the track as you'd want to before the potential of that drive-through. Just in the background there. So maybe Boyd deciding he's going to pit in soon again. You just see the flash of the headlights there, so something going on between the two teammates. You think they'd be communicating on the radio between the two cars. So things have started to settle down a little bit now. Boyd, Bergens, Schweikert, Glenn Boyd, Daniel Webster, your top 5 drivers so far. Jack Boyd there getting another incident point. So he'll only get the one for the off track. Daniel Webster also getting one there. Flashing headlights, swerving all over the track. I think that maybe they might be thinking this is a little bit easy. And there we go. The two teammates have crashed. So that's what can happen. Lack of concentration there, and it is Bergens who has copped it. And there'll be 4 incident points there as well for Jack Boyd. 4 incident points for Luke Bergens as well from the contact. And Justin Schweikert now back up into the lead. There'll be damage to the front of that Porsche. You can see it there on the right-hand front corner. And Glenn Boyd now trying to put the pressure on his son. Luke Bergens down into 4th. Incidentally, his last lap around a 54.85. So first man into the 54s. So once again, Justin Schweikert in the lead. These cars do need to make their pit stops. This stage, the top 5 cars have not made the stop they will need to make. Expect that to be coming up relatively soon. And you can see in the background there, Jack Boyd gone. He has gone straight ahead. Oh, in fact, no. I don't know what happened there on the screen. My apologies. Looked like he went straight ahead. Something happening there with the coverage, so apologies for that, Jack. Can only call it as I see it. It certainly showed me that, so again, I do apologise for the incorrect call. Schweikert still leads this one. He's feeling the pressure. Of Jack Boyd right behind him. Last lap around, in fact, Schweikert, fastest man on track, 56.7. So Bergens, don't know how damaged that Porsche is. Contact actually didn't look to be too heavy. It was the right-hand front corner of that Porsche. A little bit of damage there, actually. Yeah, you can see reasonable amount of damage right down that right-hand side of the car. As Glenn Boyd has gone off track now. And so Bergens has gone past him. Looks like he just ran wide there. Oh no, just a big long slide. So, other than a lost position, no damage done to the Bergens M8. Does move Bergens, I should say, up into 3rd. So, as Schweikert now heads into pit lane, first of the front runners to make his stop. So he will fuel that up to the end. Glenn Boyd in pit lane 2. So now we've got Jack Boyd, Luke Bergens back out in front here. Yet to pit. Daniel Webster, what's he going to do? He may follow suit. Of course, that BMW, though, able to run a little longer on that tank. So Webster moves up into 3rd position. Not corrected order, though. So, of course, Boyd and Bergens will be looking to put in some fast laps here to move themselves up through the pit stop. We know they're capable of lapping in the very, very low 155s. Bergens with a 4.8 as his fastest lap. Jack Boyd, another penalty there. He's going to be going very, very close to getting a drive-through. So he may have to drive a little more conservatively towards the end of the race, which will play into Bergens' hands. He goes wide again. So the tracker that we use at the moment is showing that he's got 21 incident points. Now, it has been known to be a little bit more aggressive than iRacing in terms of tracking the off tracks and the number of incident points that have been spent. But it's important to note he's going to be up there. And he's into pit lane this lap. And I reckon he is maybe a little too quick on the entry there. He jammed everything on to try and pull that Porsche up. It does put Bergens into the lead. Let's go back here and have a quick look at this. And I reckon there he may be struggling. You can see there he's had the anchors absolutely on that thing, trying to get it stopped. He's doing the old 1-2 on the gearbox to try and catch up a little bit of speed. So I have to keep an eye on that there and see if he does end up getting a drive-through for that. With potentially a little bit too much pace on his entry. On board now with Daniel Webster, Luke Bergens, the leader of the race as well. He is going to need to pit. These last two not to pit yet. But you would assume that they will not be too far away. BMW will be able to go slightly further than the other cars on fuel. You can see there that damage on the Bergens car. He's going to come into pit lane this lap. Let's make sure. And he gets that pulled up just in time. You need a lemon to kick in there. What about Daniel Webster? Where's he going? He should be able to go around for one more lap, unless he wants to just get in the group, which is exactly what he's doing. So we now have had everyone come through pit lane, and it is going to be Jack Boyd who should resume the lead of the race here. And as we predicted, in fact, unfortunately, he did get a drive-through penalty, and it looks like he may have done it again. So let's just jump back quickly and have a look at that. It hasn't come up as a pit lane entry on our list, but very much looks like he struggled to get the car stopped again going into pit lane. You know, what that's done is put Luke Bergens in the lead of the race. He is half a second up on Justin Schweikert, currently sitting in second position. So this is the battle for the lead. Glenn Boyd in third position. He has a 12-second margin over Jack Boyd, who we suspect may need to serve another drive-through penalty. Keep an eye on that for you for this lap. Aaron Oliver right behind him, and Daniel Webster leaves pit lane. He is in sixth position, and very much hunting the back of the Aaron Oliver M8. I'm seeing a few unusual notifications through on our telemetry here, so just bear with me a sec while I sort that out. Just not updating the overall information, so if we do miss something, we will come back to it. Sitting on board here with Jack Boyd, just wanting to see if he Has to head through for a third time. And no, he doesn't. So that's good to see. Drivers spending their time going through pit lane over and over again. So Jack Boyd in 4th position. Luke Bergen's in the lead of this one. Just under 13 minutes to go. So we're going to have around about 6 laps. And jump back into this battle here on between Oliver and Webster. Trading positions at the moment, back and forth. It's really wide there, Oliver. That'll give Webster a good run and a good opportunity. As he gets down and he pulls the beamer up and closes the door to get the job done. With the drag race down. It's the next left-hander, and Webster's got the job done. Just managing to pull that car up. And he's now into 5th position. He's quite slow through the chicane there. He just gets a touch up on the way through. Jack Boyd did get a drive through, so he is in again. Unless he's actually pulling into pit lane for a stop. So I'm not too sure. He's jumped out of the car. So he has called it a night, I think. In that thing, which is a shame. So he probably got the second drive-through penalty there like we thought he might have. As I said, very disappointing. For his night to turn out that way. His teammate Luke Bergens leads this one. And this battle here is still going on between Webster and Oliver. It's now for 4th position. You've got Bergens, Schweikert and Glenn Boyd in the top 3 positions at the moment. Oh, there's a big slide there from Aaron Oliver. Did very well to avoid the back of Daniel Webster. But that has opened up the gap to just on 2 seconds. And interestingly enough, showing 19 incident points for Aaron Oliver. So he's going to need to be careful that he doesn't end up with a drive-through. Now gives Daniel Webster some breathing space. A fair way to go to hunt down Glenn Boyd to get his 2nd consecutive podium of the evening. At this stage, Luke Bergens out in front. Notification here of an issue for Hayden Jackson. I'll jump back and have a look at that. In the booming Corvette. Just probably gone the big slide, yeah, just dropping the wheel a little bit there over onto the AstroTurf. And just rotating the car there. So we jump back live with Luke Bergens. jump on board with Bergens. Have a look at what this track looks like at night, which is effectively where we're at now. And let him take us on a lap of Suzuka. Thanks to HJ Plant Repairs. Wow, what a lap. Particularly in that close to darkness. Very difficult to see your braking markers. A lot more muscle memory driving the car than anything else. It's Justin Schweikert still in second. Where he started this race, in fact. So he's had a cracking drive. Glenn Boyd just 3.5 seconds back down the road, so not impossible but unlikely given 4.5 minutes to go. So you'd envisage at this stage that this is how things will finish. Bergens, Schweikert and Boyd. And Josh Perwin missing tonight. This will help Luke Bergens close the gap significantly on the current leader. Hey Frank, thanks for joining the coverage. Hope you're keeping well. Luke got the job done in race 1. He's had a couple of issues, but now back out in front in race 2 as well. Having started from the back of the field, so this stage looking to make it back to back at Suzuka. In the darkness. A challenge for anyone. Certainly not a track set up for nighttime racing. The same guys as Sebring, which is coming up in a couple of months. The 12-hour on iRacing. I think that's in March. Got the Bathurst 12-hour up next month for the GT3 category as well. Thanks for the like as well. So 2:48 to go here. This will be the second last lap of the race. Your white flag next time around. Bergen still with the fastest of the race, a 54.85. Only car to break the 55 barrier. Things are getting a little bit closer here. Down to 2 seconds between Schweikert and Boyd. So maybe not over. Schweikert is actually just struggling a little bit in the darker conditions. Boyd last time around a second faster. So you would still think that nothing doing there. Keep an eye on that gap. Bergen just starts what will be the last lap of the race here at SUZUKA. So Bergen's, Schweikert and Boyd, your top three. I expect there'd be some fairly good celebrations. There's just get notification that Sam Lehman has crashed, so that is not good for his race. Currently running in 8th. So just under half a lap to go now. A pretty dominant performance by Luke Bergen's. Fastest lap this race. To the tune of about half a second over his teammate Jack Boyd, who unfortunately hasn't managed to finish the race. Bergens goes through the chicane for the last time. He will collect the checkered flag here and take the win to make it a double. Close in on the lead of this championship. To the first round here in the Australasian leg of the Aus Pro-Am Sim Series, brought to you by Plant Repairs. You see him celebrating there. It's a great result for him. He's going to show us a little bit of the circle work. It will be Justin Schweikert coming home in second. Great drive from him. And Glenn Boyd in third. So he'll be wrapped with that result as well. We will grab our top three drivers, have a quick chat with them as well once they've finished the mandatory celebrations. Just waiting for Bergens and Boyd to jump in and say hello. So as I mentioned, next week we're heading to Okayama. So staying obviously in the region, but very, very close to SUZUKA. We're going to do Okayama, which will be an intense race, quite a short circuit. And then after that off to Phillip Island, and then culminating with our final enduro race of the season at Bathurst. Which, believe it or not, is in February, the 5th of February. Almost close to halfway through the first month of 2021. Unbelievable. Time is flying. see something the other day saying that the world's spinning faster than it's ever spun before. That's always reassuring. Perhaps that's why it feels like the year flies by as much as it does. Justin Schweikert just enjoying things here. See if we can bring the results up here for you while he's doing that. No, they're not going to... show? Yeah, they are. There we go. Just finally making their way up onto the screen. So it was Luke Bergens, Justin Schweikert, and Glenn Boyd taking out the race result. And we've got Daniel Webster in 4th. Good result for him. A great consistent race. With Aaron Oliver running out the top 5 there. Just bring the drivers in once they've finished. Looks like Jack Boyd and Luke Bergen's just catching up. Maybe just to have a chat about the race before we grab the guys. So as I did mention earlier in the stream, starting from February, we bring you the ANSCAR Truck Series as well. So guys just jump into the room, joined by Luke Bergens and as according to the Discord, Glenn Papa Boyd.
Good evening.
How are you? Congratulations, Luke, on the double here at SUZUKA.
Yeah, thanks, mate.
An interesting race there with a couple of incidents for you, particularly in the second race.
Yeah, she was pretty drama-filled, that race, which made it pretty interesting. The Porsches don't really like those curbs, so I was trying to avoid Cardo, and I just hit the curb and around I went. And then the second one with Jack, I was just trying to avoid Jack, but obviously I had nowhere to go and cleaned him up, which was a bit unfortunate.
We did notice that, and then he copped a couple of drive-throughs, unfortunately, as well, so just not his night. But, yeah, the Porsches there, a couple of drivers having the same issue, just dropping wheels off curbs and rotating the car, but the BMW, Glenn, a similar problem?
Yeah, it can be. You got to treat it with respect. If you're going too hot, yeah, there's no saving it. Unfortunately, I think I did spin once, but yeah, you just got to make sure you hit your marks and get on the power, and try not to push the car too hard.
And we were interested to see no one needed to stop in the first race tonight. We thought that everyone was going to be just shy on fuel. We jumped on board with you, Luke, on your last few laps. There was absolutely no fuel saving going on whatsoever. So the car's running a little longer than expected.
Yeah, I don't know if they must have changed it back for this week. I know they wanted to mix it up a little bit for Long Beach, I think it was. Or,
yep.
Yeah, for Long Beach. They must have changed it back for this week. So.
Just managing to get it done.
She was flat out.
Yeah, absolutely. No, we jumped on board with you. And how did it go into the darkness there again this week?
Yeah, it's always a bit tricky into the dark. There was a couple of spots on here that were a bit darker than others, so you had to really pick your marks, where to brake and where to turn in and all that. But it's the way it goes. You got to just go with it. So everyone's in the same boat. Yeah,
absolutely. Well, as usual, Luke, if you wanted to give a shout out to those that support you.
Yeah, just a massive thank you to HM Engineering, all their partners are on board, Logitech, SUS, BenQ, and Maddie and Sam for their hours they put in. I know they're struggling a little bit, but they're not giving up, so good on them.
Yeah, they do a great job. And Glenn, getting back on the podium, good to see you back up where we think you belong as well this week.
Yeah, I think I had a lucky one this week. If I can keep Jack behind me, I'm probably bound for it, but these things don't happen too often, so I'll take it while I can.
Yeah, absolutely. And anyone you want to thank?
Yeah, I'd like to thank as Luke said, thank the guys, Cardo and the gents who put in the time tirelessly. It is very much appreciated. We do enjoy the racing, and I'd like to thank BIM Struck Drafting Services, and a big shout out to my mum, Gillian Burgess. She's probably watching, so Thanks, guys.
Yep, no dramas at all. Beautiful. Well, thank you for your time, gents. As always, good to catch up with you after what is always a successful evening. And we will look forward to seeing you next week when we go to Okayama for what's going to be probably a drama-filled event, I imagine, given the track we're headed to.
Thank you.
Yep, thanks, Stu. See you next week, mate.
No worries. So that wraps it up for us for another Tuesday evening. Thank you to everyone who popped into the stream and said hello. As always, we appreciate your company. And yep, Jill is definitely on board there. Glenn, I can see you still sitting here with me. She just popped into the chat to say hi. Yeah, thank you to everyone who's jumped on board and joined the stream. Thanks to HA Plant Repairs for their sponsorship of this series. Always appreciated. And to our partners, AFTERSHOCK PC, your rig, your choice. Ferguson Group Media, and of course Chris Purnell and Virtual Motorsport Mentor. We thank them as always for their support of what we do here of a Tuesday evening. So we will see you again next Tuesday evening, same time, same place on FGME Cast, your E-Place for Pace. I'm Stuart, I've enjoyed it, and I will look forward to catching you next week. Till then, take care, and I'll see you here.